And it would seem that part of the change is a requirement of organisations to do deep cultural work to create a workplace where all women feel valued. Like, what are the first steps that you'd like to see in the area, or if you were advising an organisation to set out their cultural journey, like where would they start?
One of the most powerful things that I do is a facilitated Chatham House Rule session, where we bring leaders into a closed space, cross-hierarchical, and we have a no-holds-barred conversation around all the things you want to know about gender equality but we're afraid to ask, all the things that are practically invisible landmines that are stopping you from getting ahead, because there's so much fear, and I've said this already, around even opening up this can of worms for fear that you'll be pilloried, that you'll be hung out to dry, that you'll be cancelled. And that's not helpful, because we live in a society where we've practically forgotten how to have a debate about an issue, you know? So open and honest discussion and an openness to alternative perspectives is really the first step to creating cultural change. And, you know, the work that I do with Lift Ireland is around looking in before you look out, because to lead others, you really need to equip yourself to lead yourself first and to know what that feels like and looks like, and to ask some really, really tough questions, because none of this stuff is easy. If it was easy, it'd be fixed already. The benefits are enormous. I think there is in excess of $260 billion spent on absenteeism from the workplace in the US. $260 billion, because people don't want to go to work because they don't like it. And so what are we going to do? How are we going to make, and it comes back to Maslow's hierarchy, you know, we want to feel valued. We want to feel like there's a reason for us to be there. And I think the biggest challenge then is in kind of prizing open the brain and realizing that leadership of today is not the same as leadership of yesterday. It requires curiosity, it requires vulnerability, it requires openness, it requires a lot more listening than talking, so that everybody can be engaged for a common purpose, and have a language around how to address issues of bias and prejudice. So, you know, if a woman, for example, encounters you know, during a meeting a behavior that doesn't feel right or sit right, that there is a language, an acceptable and respectful language around that, to say, can we just have a little chat about that, because I'm not sure that that's, you know, for the common good, for the cultural good.